A forgotten artifact lies in pieces on a planet far from Earth. Few know it exists except those who took it back and those whose ancestors created it. 4 young people are thrown into a race against emissaries of the gods to find its pieces. Mistrust, greed, and magic are tangled in an endless web. What will the fate be of the universe once it is found and reassembled? Get Scepter of the Gods, The Rod of Truth now on Amazon, and get wrapped up in the saga that will not let you go.
Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotional, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day. This is a special episode in a series of podcasts based on Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. For several years now, I have gone back to the habits taught in this book to prepare for the coming year and home in closer and closer to my lifelong dream and my goals so that I could more effectively achieve my goals. Year after year, we hear people joking about setting New Year's resolutions and then abandoning them by February. Personally, I don't find that very funny. I hope that your resolutions are more important to you than to give them up after only a month or two. What if you were to set 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most resolutions or goals for 2024, and then at the end of 2024, find that you nailed each one of them? You can. I set 2 goals that to me were very large. As I talk about in the Motivational Devotional, I had to change and grow to become more than I was in order to achieve those goals. As I say this now, I have done that. I changed. I grew. I achieved. Starting with the November 27, 2023 podcast and running through the New Year's Eve podcast, this series offers 35 episodes of principles, inspiration, and motivation that I use toward fulfilling my own lifelong dream. I have audacious goals for 2024, but only 3, because more than that will water down your efforts. I will achieve mine by this time next year. You can do the same. And I hope you will pursue yours with relentless intent. If you find these helpful, please go to the Motivational Devotional Facebook page and let me know. For now, let's get on with it. Have you ever asked yourself why you keep talking when no one else seems to be listening? Every parent has probably asked themselves this question. We talk until we are blue in the face, but they just don't seem to get it. The homework doesn't get done, the room doesn't get cleaned, the dishes in the dish drainer still aren't clean. They just aren't tuned in to what you're saying. Does any of this sound familiar? Parents often say that they feel like they are speaking a different language because their kids just don't listen. Teachers in school voice similar frustrations, as do managers, supervisors, and CEOs. Today's podcast dovetails off of yesterday's podcast because, well, we are still talking about the 5th habit of highly successful people, which is to seek first to understand and then be understood. Now, honestly, any parent can work tirelessly for days on end to understand their children before telling them to do things, and it probably wouldn't make a difference in whether the kids actually do it. I started writing things like these podcasts back when I was a director of spirituality at a long-term care center. I was asked by my first administrator to bring some kind of positive and motivational thing for the morning meeting, which I did. They were much shorter than these podcasts because I could tell right off the bat that people were checking out before I got started. A couple of people told me how much they appreciated it, but for the most part, people worked on their laptops, read reports, and mostly tuned out before I even started. Now, I was not bringing this to the meeting because I was trying to assert my opinion before being understood. I was asked to do it. However, I was not asked by the majority of the people on the team, and that put me in an awkward position. So I started asking what people were struggling with and what helps them get their day cranking. That helped. As I learned more and understood more, I could bring something that met people where they were rather than where I was or where I thought they were. By asking and listening, I was more tuned in, and so the blurbs I read in our meetings were, I think, more effective. Rather than trying fruitlessly to find something that works, we need to step back and ask ourselves if we have listened enough first. Have we tuned in before broadcasting? We can do something more effective by learning more about our target instead of being frustrated with it. If we don't feel effective, maybe it's because we aren't tuned in to their frequency, which we do best the more we are tuned in with God. In that spirit, I would like to encourage you to share with me what you struggle with in trying to pursue a lifelong dream and what motivates you the most. I want to listen. I want to hear. These podcasts are free, but I want them to be loaded with what you need, not just what I want to say. That's the way we get life done. That's how we can all be more effective in living out what we are created to be and to do. As we do that, we will each surely know that all of creation is conspiring in our favor and trust that the universe always has our backs. Larry King once said, "I remind myself every morning, nothing I say this day will teach me anything. So if I'm going to learn, I must do it by listening." Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow. Motivational Devotional is a production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.